or anything we get involved in that kind of takes all of our attention. I lost myself in that motherhood, growing up, being an adult, all that. So I had bout with mental illness, postpartum depression, and basically I lived kind of like I isolated myself from everybody and kept myself from moving forward because I thought my role was just to be a mom or daughter, because I also helped take care of my mom, and lost all of that. And then I saw your guys' Expedition to Soul free course that you offer. And I'm like, you know what, this sounds awesome. I could use this because I don't even know who I am, because I think it was your social media actually who had the question, what would you be if you did this song? I think it was you guys.
Nothing like me, like posing an existential question in the middle of a day, like yes. Just trying to mind your business.
Hey, you know what? That's great, because it led me to realize that what was missing, and that was who I was anymore, besides those roles I was playing.
We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Think about what life would look like if you had the foundation to do the shadow work, understand where you're holding yourself back, and the confidence to bring some everyday magic elements into your life, follow your intuition, and know exactly the steps forward for you. Well, that's what we teach you and more in our Holistic Witchery program. Be sure to get on the wait list for Holistic Witchery. It's the one class we think everybody should take here at the Sisters Enchanted. It has changed so many lives and is at the core of all of our fundamental beliefs about who we are and how we propel ourselves forward in a way that makes great change for ourselves and those around us. Check out holisticwitchery.com, get on the wait list, and we can't wait to welcome you into class just as soon as enrollment opens. Welcome to this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast. I am Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted, and I am joined today by one of our community members, tarot reader extraordinaire, Heather Bosche. I don't know if I said that right.
No, you did.
And Heather is here to chat with us about everyday magic and embracing the magic, and just a good time to chat with somebody who is just like all of you listeners out there, just like me, living that magic life. So hello, Heather.
Hello.
How are you?
I am great. I'm great today. Today is good.
I know it's been a week.
It has. And it's not even, more than halfway through now. So that's good.
Well, my friend Heather, so Heather, from what I know, Heather has been with us in the Sisters Enchanted for some time. However, I just recently started to get to know Heather and just learned that her last name is not what I thought it was, and I was pronouncing it wrong this whole time. So I'm learning new things about Heather with all of you listeners. And it's the short time that I've really been getting to know you, Heather, has been really fun to see you just put yourself out there, try new things, and experience your growth with us. So tell me, give us a little bit of like just the background, who you are, all the like muggle stuff, and kind of how you got here.
Okay. So I am a mom of 3 boys that are 7, 4, and 3. And so very close together. I feel like I was pregnant for 400 years. And then, and as most of us know, as moms or anything we get involved in that kind of takes all of our attention, I lost myself in that motherhood, growing up, being an adult, all that. So I had bout with mental illness, postpartum depression, and basically I lived kind of like I isolated myself from everybody and kept myself from moving forward because I thought my role was just to be a mom or daughter, because I also helped take care of my mom, and lost all of that. And then I saw your guys' Expedition to Soul free course that you offer. And I'm like, you know what, this sounds awesome. I could use this because I don't even know who I am, because I think it was your social media actually who had the question, what would you be if you did this song? I think it was you guys.
Nothing like me, like posing an existential question in the middle of a day, like when you're just trying to mind your business.
Hey, you know what? That's great, because it led me to realize that what was missing, and that was who I was anymore, besides those roles I was playing. So I was very disconnected. So went through the course, absolutely loved it, signed up for everything, which seems to happen a lot after that, signed up for every course. And I dove in, and I was like 500 miles an hour into those courses. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is great. And then we got to shadow work. And then that's when I disappeared for a while. I had
no more existential questions.
No, but I also knew I had to dig in there. So shadow work is very important. Do your shadow work. It's like eat your vegetables and take your vitamins, do your shadow work. And it led me back here. I'm actually talking to people online. I've started my own business, Earthsight Tarot. I am doing readings. I am helping people who have gone through similar situations and trying to get everyone back on track so they can be the best people. We can change the world.
Yes, the world needs changing.
Yes,
for sure. And we have the tools to do it.
Yes.
So in your journey in the highs and the lows, and then coming back to yourself again, was there any point in time where anybody in your day-to-day life was like, why is it that tarot or like witchy things? And I know that you kind of had like the teen witch and then the young adult witch. And so it wasn't something that some people listening to this, it might be like, it just kind of hits you in the head in like your 40s. And you're like, where did this come from? And I know that wasn't quite the case for you, but when you started to like really bring this into your everyday again, was there anybody or any moment where maybe you hesitated, or like just any experiences around that?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a few experiences when I picked up the tarot cards, and I also started dyeing my hair crazy colors again. And my mother is she's so funny because she's like a walking oxymoron. She loves to get tarot readings. She loves all that stuff, but she's like, it's just entertainment. And then when I start doing it, she's like, how old are you? Didn't you grow up? Like, yes, and now I'm better at it. Would you like a reading? But no, she gives me a hard time. She says she keeps asking me when I'm going to grow out of all of it, and I'm like, I'm 40 now, so I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. I just got back here.
Like I've grown right into it, not out of it.
Yeah. So but then and also a lot of it was internal too, because when I started again, I was like, part of it was me judging myself, like, how old am I? Like, am I too old to be like into spirituality, into this tarot and self empowerment through spirituality and esoteric occult practices? And how much of it is me, how much of it is mental health related? And so there was a lot of work that had to go into that with medical professionals as well as spiritual mentors and myself. So I had to do the work to get there, for sure. My husband did only look at me funny once, but he is fully on board with all of it. He's the one who actually got me back into it inadvertently, because he's like the not spiritual guy at all. But he is a Virgo rising and a Sagittarius and a Pisces moon. So like a very intuitive, like, I know how to take care of you. And he does.
Yeah.
And he gave me like witchy stuff. And he's like, you need this again. I'm like, I guess I do. And he was right.
I love that.
Yeah.
So as a busy person, a person whose life is very full, I like to say. 3 kids, and you said you help take care of your mother, and you are starting your or have started your tarot business. How do you find, like, one, how do you find time for yourself? And one of the things that I see that happens when people start doing all this witchy goodness is wanting to do all the things, like wanting to do all the tarot readings every day and like do the crystals and charge the moon water. And it's so interesting to me because there's like, we have, like mainstream Christianity and whatnot. And people go to church on like Sunday or like, maybe Wednesday mass or something or whatever it is. But it's like one day for 1 hour and like you go get breakfast after or like dinner or something like that.
You get to dress nice.
But
yeah.
us like witchy folk, we're like, I must do an entire Celtic cross Monday through Friday and like do shadow work on it. And then on Sunday must charge my moon water. Must not miss the day. And then I need to set a whole new crystal grid and like somehow become overwhelmed with this sense of like, I must do all of this stuff and then feel like failures when people like don't like, how do you do all of this? Or so I would love to know, as a person whose life is very full, kind of like, what is your, I guess, like, what does this look like in your life? And how do you find time for yourself and don't feel like you've not done whatever you need to do to like connect or be present or practice your spirituality in the day to day?
This is something I'm sure, it's one of those lifelong learning. So I'm not 100% there, but it's definitely improving to figure that out. So what I found that, a lot of the issue with trying to figure out where to fit stuff is us going, well, I can't ask for time for myself because I got all this other stuff. And you feel like, it's been so ingrained in you that this is what you're responsible for. Like, you got to do the breakfasts, the lunches, you got to take your kids to school, you got to pick them up from school, you got to do the doctor's appointments, you got to schedule the doctor's appointments up and down, all over the place, all that muggle stuff. And you're like, well, I have to do all this and then I can have time for myself. And then, as it happens, you never actually get time. So what I do is very much like, if you're saying yes to something, you're saying no to something else, like you said, is don't be afraid to ask for someone to do something for you. That was like the biggest thing. Like, yes, my husband is the breadwinner. He is the 9-to-5er. He works remotely now, fortunately, which is why this is all working out the way it is. I am very lucky and blessed to have this happen in a time that's so crazy. And for a lot of people, it hasn't turned out well. So I know how lucky I am there. So, but so I can ask him, hey, I haven't made the kids' dentist appointments that I've been meaning to make for like 4 weeks, but I really want to take this class. Can you take over for this? Can you do this, this, and this? And like, I give him the easier things that just our time sucks generally, and he'll do it. Because, he can figure out, because he's a grown-up too.
Yes, yeah, so. They are grown-ups.
Yes. I get like, sometimes we get, and I don't know, me personally, I get into the thing like, well, he's doing the work. He's doing the stuff that brings the money in, that takes care of us all. So I can't bug him. But at the same time, you're not bugging him. You're asking him to be partner or parent, Yeah. So that was,
it just plays out differently. I think just as like female or like the mother identifying people, because my husband does not work full time, yet I still am like, oh, well, it's like beyond him to do it, or it's just not the right fit activity, or he wouldn't know how to even find the phone number. So I might as well just do it. Like, who am I to assume that my grown man husband can't Google the dentist? This is funny you're telling this story, because just today I had to call the dentist for my kids and reschedule an appointment. And I wanted to like send him the email reminder and be like, can you reschedule this? But I know that there would have been this like cascade of questions. So I was just, but
we did have that learning curve. We did have that. So I shouldn't say that it was like, oh, all I had to do was ask and they did it. That did not happen. Funny little story, for my kids' vaccines, they all needed a flu shot and I put it on him to do it. And my middle kid has gastro issues. So I had a specialist for him that I scheduled, and my husband scheduled all the vaccines on the same day that he was going to a specialist an hour away. And I'm like, he's not going to make it back. And this woman, she's always late. And I'm like, and she's like, do you want me to, can you reschedule? I'm like, you know what? He's going to learn his lesson. So I just let him do it. I just was like, you know what? He'll figure it out. He hasn't made the same mistake again.
Yeah.
Because the doctor's offices were calling him and they're like, you're going to get charged because you didn't cancel.
Yeah. I know. See, that's the way to go.
Yeah, you got to let them fall on their face, even though it's really, really hard to watch.
Yeah, I know. So gotta remind ourselves that like all this pressure we put on ourselves, and by and large, nobody here listening to this is like solving world hunger or like curing cancer. And so just let it go, because really, what's the worst that could happen?
Honestly, yeah.
But that's hard.
I know, like the being charged for not showing up, and I know a lot of people that's a hefty amount of money. But I did call afterwards and take care of it. So we didn't get charged. So they're usually very flexible. And especially if you call and say, look, this is my husband's first time making an appointment. They're all like, okay.
Yeah, in that case.
Yes, but I didn't tell them. So,
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So what are your then like day to day? What's your go? I know, well, you're a tarot reader, so I bet there's some tarot in there, but what is your like go-to daily magic thing? Like, what does that look like? Everyday magic in your life?
Everyday magic. Okay. So what I do, I have 5 to 10 minutes reserved at the beginning, at the end of the day, and the end of the day. I do 2 little blocks, like 5 to 10, depending on the morning. So what I do is I wake up and I pull my daily tarot. I have a daily rune card I do. So I do the who am I today tarot. I do a rune card for the energy of the day, like how I can work best with like the energy of the tarot card, because sometimes you get those 3 of swords and stuff. You're like, okay, so if I'm going to be that today,
yeah,
what's going to trigger that? And so I can work that. It helps a lot to do more than one card, or like an oracle and a tarot. Yeah. And then I have the little astrological planner I use that I just do like 2 sentences on the card, what I think it means for that. And then at the nighttime before bed, I have the same planner, big one, big paragraph, and I write down how it plays out for me that day. So it's actually like my self-care, continuing education, and just like internal like decompression and like letting it go for the day. So those are my 2 things.
That really is like all in one, and it doesn't take that long either.
Yeah, it's maybe at the short side, it's 10 full minutes for the day if you do 5 and 5, or 20 if you do 10 and 10.
Yeah.
It's really not that much.
Yeah. I think that like we overlook this, like how simple it can be to have a spiritual practice, because the fact that you write it down in something that gives you like the astrology tidbit, or just like, even if something with like, I don't know, the moon sign or where the sun was, like just something simple, it kind of is like, all right, what's happening around me and what season am I in? What do I need to know about myself? And it's like everything all in one, and doesn't have to be this big, long process, that you need.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like an hour.
Especially if like you pull the card and you're like, really, I can't interpret it today. It's just thinking too hard. So you just record what you got. And then usually I'll write at the end of the day, I'll be like, I'm too tired to think about this. And that's it. That's what I write for the day. Like, yeah, I got the cards out. So you don't have to worry about, there's no failing. And if you don't pull, I write that. I was just not feeling it today. I'm not pulling today because I just don't feel like it. There's those days too. I do have them. It's not like I am not perfect either. No one is.
No, that is so true. What would you say to somebody who is like listening to this and they're very witchy woo spiritual curious, and they're a little like unsure just about this? Like, is this for me? Is it, like counter to some belief system I already have, or do I have to have some kind of special knowledge, or just a person who's like, I don't know, this sounds really intriguing, but I feel kind of like a black sheep looking in? What would you say to somebody in that position?
That's a good one.
I
feel like I've actually spoken to some of people that are like, a lot of that. I feel like it's So I'm big into education. Like if I could go to college forever, I would have, because I just love to learn things. I wanted to be a professional student.
Yeah, I get that.
What I want to do. Yeah. So what I put it as, don't look at it as you're just changing a belief system. You're just be like an anthropologist, a cultural study, if you really want to. If you really are afraid it's going to conflict with your beliefs. I mean, some of those ancient archaeologists who dug up the Greek gods and stuff were very, very, very church oriented. So,
Yeah.
but they knew the stories and they loved the stories. And look at it that way. You don't have to, just because you're looking at it doesn't mean that you're going all the way in it and diving all the way down to the bottom and getting all witchy woo on it.
Yeah. No, we have and there's, I always reference this one person. So she's probably so sick of me referencing her, but we have a podcast episode with another student, Jennifer Tydrowski, probably saying her last name wrong to you, but I didn't know this. I don't know if you ever listened to that episode or heard me talk about it, but I got on a podcast episode to interview her. And the reason I asked if she'd be on the podcast was because she is a medical doctor. So I was like, oh, this will be really interesting. You're a doctor and like sciencey, and yet you're here. So I was like, that'll be really cool. And then she got on, and she's an Orthodox Christian and a doctor. And I was like, hot take, I was not prepared for that. You had not shared that.
That's a curveball. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right, same questions. What brought you here? But I think it really goes to show that there is, there's room for everybody. So if you have like a question, you're like, I think there's something in tarot, or like even seeking out a tarot reader like yourself, Heather, and you're like, I think I'd like to do that, but I don't know how to tell my friends, or like, I don't know if I would tell my partner or whatever, or my parents or whoever it is you don't want to tell. I think that just knowing that there are all types of people. It's
not an all or nothing for sure.
Yeah.
And as I say, anything you learn, it can only add to your life. Like you know whether you like it or you don't. And then that's just something else, So,
very true. Yeah. Very, very true. So tell us a little bit about your tarot business. What do you do? What do you offer? Who do you help?
So my tarot business, it's Site Tarot. I my like signature thing that I do is right now is the what's the worst that could happen? Because a lot of our fears are, the human mind is amazing, and we can come up with like the worst, scariest things that may happen over the littlest, bumps. So my tarot reading is a combination of intuitive pulls, where I just pull the cards blind, and also intentional, where while I'm interacting with my customer or client, that I feel represent their current conflict or situation, or what their goals are, their intention. And we help figure out what's the worst that could happen if they do X, Y, and Z towards their intention. I also help them find their allies, like your meditation that you did, find their allies, which can be themselves, their skills and their strengths. They could actually be some like people around them that they can look to that they didn't think they had in their corner. And then we do some actionable steps and goal setting. So we help get people on the journey to their best self.
Heather, I should book in one of those readings with you, because just listening, I like read about it, but then hearing you tell me about it, it's like, it comes off different when you're telling me. And now I feel like I need that.
I would be happy to do it. I still haven't figured out a booking system though. So
well, you'll get there. Yeah. You can always just, for now, old fashioned way, just through email. I call that the scheduling tango.
And I did get a business phone, so you can also text me on my phone. The number is on the website.
That's fancy.
So yes.
Yeah. We'll link up your website too, all around this. So anybody who's listening, who is interested in one of those readings, which sounds amazing, be sure to look around for the link so you can find Heather. And Heather is in our holistic witchery, enchanted journey, inner circle communities. Like I think you're in like all the communities.
Everything.
So you could just find her. And
I am on the app. I am open for direct messages. So you can just direct message me through the app. I'm on there a lot.
Yeah. If you're not sure which Heather, this is the thing about the app. I love the app that's not in Facebook and all that. The thing that like kind of is a thorn in my side though, is the fact that we can have usernames in the app, not just like your name, because then I don't know who is who. And even people that I know, you know, like when I type in your name in the app to tag you in a post or something, there's like several Heathers and several Heather B's. And then I got to like confirm to myself that it's like the right Heather B, because you can't always see in the icon, you know, like quickly, or some people don't.
Especially, I just got that 3/4 profile sheet.
Yeah. So you can't always see. So then I'm just like, oh my gosh, is this the right Heather? But not just you. I mean, it's everybody, or people who use like Witchy Kitty 7 or something. And
I thought I was making it easier by changing it, because I signed up with like Witchy Wolf Woman. And I was like, I'm gonna put my name because that'll be easier.
Well, now I know that, like, now I know yours because you have the underscore. So like, I'm like, that's you. But you know, sometimes I'm like, who the heck is Witchy Kitty 7? Are you or are you not this person? So from like a customer student support standpoint, I'm like off with the whatever those are called, screen names.
You should have it like it could add the real name in the profile. Like they should have you put it like there, maybe.
This is not AOL Instant Messenger.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh. I forgot I had such crazy.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I think I had Romanian. One of my names was like Nopte Printessa. I was Romanian. I was really into vampires. Like really, really into vampires.
That's funny.
Yes.
I don't even know. I think mine was like girly something, which is interesting because I've never been like with a U, of course, like GURLY. I know. I really went for it. Anyway. All in on that girly. All right. Before we go, we're going to do a quick round of this or that. So you got to tell me, I'm going to tell you two things. You got to tell me which one you prefer.
Okay.
This is how we really get to know you and decide whether or not you get to stay.
All right. This is okay. Pop quiz.
Yeah. Just kidding. No All pressure. Right. Let's go. First one I always do: coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Yeah. So you get to stay. Pizza or tacos? Pizza. Yeah. If one day somebody tells me neither, and I'll be like, clearly we weren't meant to be. Banishment. I think I know the answer to this one. Tarot cards or oracle cards?
Tarot. Always tarot.
Do you prefer, I'm going to give you 3 for this one, because somebody pointed out to me recently that like there's a third option, which I had not considered due to where I live in the country. So this is a 3-parter. The like plains of the West, a forest, like woods, or like a big body of water, like ocean or something. Where would you rather be?
That's a tough one, because I do love being near water. I need to be near water, but I am very much woodsy. I love the forest, which is why I actually bought this house. I did it by myself. I bought it for my family. And I bought it because there's a creek on the property. And, you know, being upstate New York, I grew up on Long Island where oceans and the sound. So I have a creek. I'm happy with my little creek, and I got my woods and I got my water. And so I'd say woods. So you can get water in the woods, but you can't get woods in the ocean.
That's a tough one. Yeah. Because I live on the Sound. I live right on the other side. I live in Connecticut, so I'm on the other side of.
I grew up in Port Jeff, like the Bridgeport Port Jeff ferry. So right across.
Yeah, I'm not far from there. But that's what I like about where I live is like drive in 1 mile, there's trees. Drive out 1 mile, there's ocean. So I just like stand in the middle. But yeah, someone pointed out to me, they're like, there's like a whole other geography available to you, and I was like, I suppose there is. I just never really
mountains too. There's mountains.
Yeah, lots of geography. All right, what did we do? We did pizza, we did tacos, we did cards, we did coffee, tea, we did night owl or morning person?
Permanently exhausted pigeon. Night owl, I think.
Night owl?
A night owl. I think I will go back to being a night owl after my kids have grown up a little bit more.
Yeah.
But because I just I want to sleep all the time.
They'll do that to you. Yeah.
I could take naps all the time.
Get that. My 5-year-old, he still wakes up every single night. And I'm like, when is this not going to happen? Child, go to bed. Last one. Do you prefer listening to audible books or reading a book in your hand, like holding, or like
I need the book. I need the paper and the book, new book smell and all of that. Book
cracking
geeky
it open.
Yes. Breaking the spine and cracking it and destroying it and loving on it.
Yeah. I like that too. All right then. Well, Heather, thank you so much for coming here today.
Oh, it was a pleasure. I always like talking
it.
And it's fun.
And we can find you at Earthsight Tarot.
Mm-hmm.
And we will put the link in all the places. And again, when this is live, I will tag you in the app too, so everybody can say hello. And that is it. Any last words before?
I'm now hungry because we talked about tacos and pizza. So
yeah, I was just thinking that too. Like, I need a snack.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here. And everybody, you can learn more about all things Sisters Enchanted at sistersenchanted.com. Check out Holistic Witchery or join us in the Inner Circle. That's our small group membership program. And you can hang out with Heather and myself both in there, along with a great group of other folks. And Earthsight Tarot to find Heather. And that is it. Until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday and astro forecasts for the week ahead every Friday. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.